And now, to tell you more about the empowering vision we have for the Laserfiche community, I am pleased to introduce Vice President of Strategic Services Jereb Cheatham and Regional Director of Laserfiche Strategic Services Canada, Andrew Brown.
Andrew, you're looking surprisingly professional up here on stage this morning.
What is that? Is that some kind of joke, Jereb? I'm Mr. Professional.
I mean, come on. Last year, you came out on stage wearing a pasta strainer on your head.
Well, yeah, that's true, Jereb, but whose idea was it that I wear the pasta strainer on my head? It was yours.
It was my idea, but you said that was the best idea we had. You really wanted to do it, so you can't put that on me.
Yeah, it's true I said it was a good idea, Jereb, but you're a vice president. Vice presidents don't have bad ideas. Vice president plus suggestion equals good idea. Anyone else plus suggestion equals bad idea.
Is that what our relationship has come to?
Yeah.
I mean, you scare me sometimes. I don't think you've learned anything since the last Laserfiche conference.
Wait. Why do you keep saying Laserfiche conference? It isn't called the Laserfiche conference. It's called Empower. We don't call it the Laserfiche Conference 2013. We call it Empower 2013.
Okay. So I know you love when I have to do this, so I'll get it over with and say it clearly. You're right. I was wrong. It is called Empower 2013. I'm so sorry. I'll never make that mistake again.
Apology accepted. Now, do you know why it's called Empower 2013?
Last year was Empower 2012, and the year before that was Empower 2011.
Let's see. Sarcastic answer. Didn't really address the question I asked. You know, sometimes I forget that you manage the pre-sales department, Jereb. Now, the reason we call it the Empower Conference is because this event, this whole week, is really more about empowering our community than it is about Laserfiche. Now, for the other 51 weeks of the year, we do put our focus on making Laserfiche the premier ECM solution that it is. But this week, this very special week, every year we reach out to our community in a more direct way than at any other time to empower them. The power of Laserfiche, or the power of any software, is always going to be tempered by how easy it is to use and how well people understand it.
People, empowering, tempered, it's all very dramatic. It sounds like the speech Bane made in the Batman movie.
Wait, you think I look like Bane in the new Batman movie? I have been eating a lot more recently, so I could see the mistake.
Yeah, and your head has gotten a lot fatter, but
that's
I can't comment on the rest. Yeah. Your point about empower is well taken, but as usual, you're missing a really critical point. Empowering our community and developing Laserfiche as the premier ECM solution are not mutually exclusive ideas, all right? We don't have to do one or the other from week to week. In fact, each week, our community is empowered to make Laserfiche better.
So we're talking about the enhancement request meetings, right?
That I am. And I think maybe you could be so kind as to explain to everybody my point. And when you do, then you'll realize this idea of empower has been around for a lot more than the last couple of years.
Okay, so the enhancement request meeting is a weekly event held in Nailing's office. There's a standing open invitation for any employee to bring suggestions to be considered for the next version of the software. Now, more often than not, those suggestions are coming directly from their customers, and they're the ones that are bringing them to the meeting. It's attended by senior representatives from our product team and our development team, and it's an excellent, excellent channel for our customers to influence the next release of the software.
Yeah, and one of my favorite examples of that, because it had such an impact on the software, was what happened with California State University's Chancellor's Office. They put Laserfiche in and were using it in the finance department, and they really needed to integrate with their ERP system because they had critical information in there they needed for the invoices and supporting documents they were processing in Laserfiche. That's not an unusual request, but the problem they faced was they couldn't get that information at scan time, so they couldn't use something out of the box like a real-time process in QuickFields. So we brought their request and their use case to the meeting, and the solution we came up with was a custom workflow activity that did the database lookup, so it could just be part of any process that they were running. The cool thing about that, though, is that exact functionality got added to Laserfiche as one of the enterprise integration activities in Laserfiche 8.3. That was one of the big things that people were really excited about last year, and it came directly from the enhancement request meeting.
Yeah, and I remember that. It's a great piece of functionality that was introduced with 8.3, and there seems to be a bit of a pattern here with our higher education partners. It was the University of Toronto that actually helped us develop Laserfiche Forms, which we're going to be spending so much time talking about this year. So last year at Empower 2012, the University of Toronto met with our development team, and they sort of explained their use case for how they'd like an electronic forms package to come together, right? So even though we had already started development on Laserfiche Forms, ultimately their input helped shape the product we finally released. And the product, Laserfiche, all of our customers, the current ones and the future ones, are always going to benefit from that input. In fact, that whole concept worked out so well that we formalized it and made it a big part of Empower 2013. Our product owner, Evelyn Crofts, is scheduled dozens of sessions with different customers, and she's going to be meeting with them and our development team, and they're going to be able to have direct influence and input into the next release of the software. It's like a much more direct and immediate version of the enhancement request meeting.
So, Andrew, all of this stuff sounds great, but now that I listen to it, something's occurred to me. All of this speaks to the idea of empower really well, but it sounds like our customers are empowering Laserfiche, both the product and the company, as much as we're empowering them. This idea of empower works both ways, doesn't it?
You've made me a very happy man, Jereb. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Our community has done an amazing job of empowering Laserfiche over the past 25 years. And so now, it seems only fair that we return the favor.
I feel like I walked right into that one, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So this has got something to do with Laserfiche 9, right?
This has everything to do with Laserfiche 9, Jereb. And as much as I love the sound of my own voice, la, 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 why don't you tell me why Laserfiche 9 is really the culmination of our Empower philosophy?
Right. Well, knowing you, I think you're fishing for a specific answer. I think you want me to talk about Laserfiche Forms. And
yes.
Well, that's great that pretty much anyone can design and publish a form, and the Forms portal allows them to push that functionality out to anyone they interact with. I think that's kind of the easy answer. Laserfiche Forms would be a good answer because it's so flashy and simple, much like you, but that's not what I would go with.
How late did you stay up last night thinking of that little gem?
I don't think you want to know how long I've been waiting to call you flashy and simple in front of a couple thousand people.
No. So I would say that explains your inability to give me a straight answer to my question, but again, in your department, that's actually a skill set, not a deficiency, so kind of makes sense. I'm going to ask again, why is Laserfiche 9 the culmination of the Empower philosophy? And if the Forms module is too obvious for you, challenge me. Give me something unique that is unexpected.
Well, from my perspective, I think the best example is actually the business process functionality that we built into Laserfiche 9.
You mean the business processes functionality that we built into version 9?
Huh?
Well, you said business processes. It's not business processes, it's business processes functionality.
You really want to do this right now?
Well, when else would we discuss such an important topic, Jereb?
Well, we are teaching a class called Business Process Strategies.
Oh, right, we are. What time's that class again?
It's at 1:30 in the marquee ballroom, that corner over there.
Oh my, that sounds riveting. Anyway, do go on, Jereb.
So, as I was saying, for me, the best example of Laserfiche 9 representing the Empower philosophy is actually the new business process functionality that we built into our product. For me, the ability to provide information about work assigned to individuals within the context of the information they need to take action is really terrific. I mean, you can actually use business processes as an agent of change management because you can teach people how to do it as they're working through the process. Creating or opening up this new channel of communication really opens up a ton of possibilities. And just playing with it as much as I have, I've got a bunch of stuff to bring to the enhancement meeting now.
Yeah, and I like that. All of the functionality we introduced for Laserfiche version 9 is so logical, and I think that really speaks well to our Empower philosophy. If I had to pick one new feature as being my personal favorite, though, and I know you want to hear about this, it would have to be the ability to launch workflows directly from the Laserfiche client, whether it's the Windows one or the web-based one. It doesn't matter. It seems like such a small thing at first, being able to launch workflows directly from the client, but when you really examine it, it has huge implications on how we build workflows, how our users interact with Laserfiche and how they participate in a process.
So, I think that's great. I think giving people the ability to launch workflows, giving them the ability to make those decisions is great, but I don't really get how that would affect the way you design a workflow.
So one of the biggest obstacles we have when we go to design a new workflow process is we want to try and map the whole thing from start to finish, and we want to try and include all those little different eventualities that may or may not come up. The problem is that you're asking the person building the workflow to be the process expert, and very often they're not even involved in the process at all. The real process experts are the people that participate in the process. So now, with Laserfiche version 9, we can build these smaller workflows, these simpler workflows, like route to manager, allow more time for processing, close case, send back for corrections, things like that. The users involved in the process can now apply the appropriate workflows when necessary, and they can do it directly from the Laserfiche client. It makes workflows easier to build, more repeatable in their use, and most importantly, more relevant to the people that are interacting with them.
So just the tip, if you were just processing the documents, you wouldn't have to have a workflow to ask for more time.
Nice.
I think that's a good example, but if I were to look for a better one, I'd continue with the theme that I introduced, talking about using business process to provide information and context, because ultimately information is power, or empower.
Yes.
The best part of embedding business processes in your workflows is what comes after the process is over. Laserfiche 9 automatically provides data and reports about the steps of the process you've defined. And again, it's not Laserfiche telling our customers that the process has completed or how long an activity has taken to run. The information is based on our individual customers, how they've marked the steps of the process with those business process activities. So I'll say it again, information is empower.
And with that wonderful yet kind of corny statement, you have completed my point, Jereb. Laserfiche 9, business processes, launching workflows from the client, all the reports that we can get about business processes now, it's all about empowering our community. There's no doubt at this point that workflow is a real powerhouse, right? Everything we did in version 8 was about increasing the power of workflow, really making it the central nervous system of the Laserfiche application. Now, with Laserfiche 9, we have taken all of that unlimited power and put it into the hands of each and every member of our community. That is the Empower philosophy in action.
And so that was an incredibly dramatic statement, and it's no surprise coming from you. But this is how we enact the Empower philosophy in its entirety. And the whole point of this conference is to empower all of you with 3 days of learning, discussion, and growth. So thanks so much for coming, and welcome to Empower 2013.